Hi, it's Lauren with LaurenTeachesFlute.com, and welcome to my low notes episode. I did a video on high notes a while back and it seemed to be appreciated, so thank you for the feedback. I'm glad it helped a lot of you. And so I thought it would be apt to make a low notes video to go with it. So the big problem with low notes is that people tend to fizzle out in the low register and it tends to be flat. So let's talk about those two things today. And so I want to help you get the low notes to sound stronger if they're weak and flat and in tune. So the basic exercise, I posted it on my website. It's LaurenTeachesFlute.com, Student Resources tab, and then low notes exercise. Just click on it, it's right there, and then you can use it. But basically we're starting from a B, and we're going to B flat, and then B flat to A to A flat. And I'll just play the first one. It kind of sounds like this. Okay, so you can hear that I'm crescendoing and I'm trying to get like an edgier sound and all that stuff. So I'm going to talk about how to do that. So there's three factors: air direction, air speed, and releasing of throat tension. So the air direction, I learned this from my fabulous teacher in my undergraduate studies at UT, Marian Gadigian. And I never forgot it, and I still think about it to this day. She calls it shark face. So if you look at a picture of a shark, you notice that their mouth is kind of, you know, they're just swimming along and their mouth is kind of facing the ocean floor. And it's a slight frown. So, you know, their mouth is kind of like in this shape and it's kind of facing the ocean floor. So you want to imitate that. So bring your corners, just, you don't do anything crazy like strain or anything, but just use your normal shape, relax your jaw, and bring your corners down slightly, and maybe the top lip just forward a little bit, just like that. Don't, you know, do that or anything. Just subtle little comfortable changes. So corners down a little bit. If that's all you could do, I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, so that's the first step. So shark face. The second thing is air direction. So when you do this exercise, for the soft, you want to use slow air that's aiming more across, and you want a smaller aperture. For the loud, you want a bigger aperture, wider aperture, so you can get a larger quantity of air through the flute without squeaking or cracking. So I love this thing. It's the Numo Pro. I can put a link for it in the description if you want to learn more about it. And yeah, I mean, I like it. So I'm going to demonstrate. I actually don't use this thing very often, but I use it to demonstrate, and I let my students use it a lot. So basically, this is supposed to balance a penny on it, and you're supposed to keep it straight. But your air would look like this when you do this exercise. So I don't know what it looked like. I wasn't quite looking at the fans. But in general, when I was playing soft, the air was up here or up here, and the fan was spinning slowly. And then as I played the same note louder and stronger, my air direction went down here and made the sound louder. So I find that this way of using your air and your embouchure actually helps your notes stay pretty in tune throughout the exercise. The soft notes aren't flat and the loud notes aren't sharp or flat. So you want to have that visual, and if you don't have a Numo Pro, I say it works to, you know, just do it on the tube of your flute and kind of visualize the fans just like that. And, you know, challenge yourself not to look down, but create, you know, space, especially when you go to the loud part. You're just creating that little shark face. And so you want to make sure when you do the shark face that you're almost imagining that your air is going right down into the flute, and you're not looking down and crushing the sound. That's like a common thing that comes up, is like people go down to their low notes and they look down and they, you know, they go down, but really you want to come up for the low notes. You want to stay tall to make room for that sound and whatnot. So remember to relax your jaw for those low notes, those loud low notes too. Okay, and so the last thing is to release tension in the throat. So you can imagine like a big ball in the back of your mouth. You can imagine singing opera and just have a nice open shape. But one weird tip that I like, that I visualize that works for me, is to imagine the air coming out of your windpipe. It should be warm air at this point if it's strong. So you can feel your stomach kick in when you warm up your hands. And it's coming out of the windpipe and hitting the roof of your mouth. But automatically it's coming out and aiming down just because of the way your embouchure is. So just think of the air coming straight out of your windpipe, hitting the roof of your mouth, and then coming out. And really finding that edge, you know, with the air speed. Find, you know, aim your air faster and faster and faster. So now I'm going to demonstrate some low notes on that exercise. So let's go to maybe F. If you check with a tuner, I'm not going flat, but I am trying to get an edgy, rough sound. I'm almost trying to crack to the higher note in this exercise. So you can do this, but I don't recommend you force anything to produce the sound. Alright, so just go down to a low F if you want to go down to a low F that day, and then maybe 2 weeks later you'll be able to go down to low D or C sharp. And also keep in mind that your flute, it's common for a lot of flutes, if you're a beginner or if you haven't had your flute taken in for a while, for there to be leaks in the low keys. Like, it's very common. So if for some reason you can get a low D out really well, but you can't get a low C out when you get there, you might want to have your flute checked for leaks, because that's very common, especially on the low C. So also make sure you're not touching the E flat key. That's another thing I notice with students, is they tend to touch the E flat key while they're touching the other keys down there on the very low notes. So watch out for that, and I hope this video helps. I hope it's not too long. And please like, please comment if you have any questions or requests for other videos. And happy practicing, and I will see you next time. So thank you for watching. Bye.